Remote high-ticket closing. You've probably heard about it. You've probably heard a lot of people talking about it, how you can work remotely from your laptop and make money. Now, it's all well and good talking about it, but the most important thing about remote high-ticket closing is landing the right opportunity, because you can't go away and travel and make money from your laptop if you don't have a remote sales job. And in this video today, I want to break down to you exactly how in 2025 you can land a remote high-ticket closing job. And before you take it from me, in this video I'm giving you live examples of people who have actually done it and step by step how they made it happen. So let's dive into it today, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know. So today I want to give you a few examples. So firstly, myself, Rory, Yusuf, and George. Now, obviously myself, that's obvious. It's me, my journey. I want to talk about that today and how I've managed to generate over $170,000 in commission take home for myself over the past couple of years. Rory, a student of mine who's managed to make 5.2k in a single month. That was his first month closing. Yusuf, another student of mine who made 1.7k in 2 days after landing the right opportunity. And George, who made 6.2k last month from an opportunity that he landed through a technique that I taught him. So in this video today, I want to break down exactly all 4 of these different methods that we have all landed jobs that have made us money and allowed us to travel and live wherever we want in the world. So let's go through each example. So first things first, let's talk about Rory. So Rory made 5.2k in his first month closing after landing this job. Now, how did he land it? Well, first things first, he used Facebook. Facebook is a sales hub. Lots of people go on there. There's lots of job opportunities posted all over Facebook on loads of different Facebook groups. You can literally go now onto Facebook, find these jobs, find these groups and apply to the jobs. And that's exactly what Rory did. I literally went on today and found a few job opportunities here and here, companies that are looking for closers. So they go onto Facebook, they post a job opportunity, and again, you can send a video, you can send a message, get on an interview and then land the job. And that's exactly what Rory did. Rory applied to a Abu Dhabi marketing agency that was hiring closers. He jumped on an interview, he spoke with the sales manager, and then he landed the role. And in his first month, he made 5.2k commissions for that month. Now, again, I know that's a very brief kind of overview of how he did it, and there's a lot more that went into him getting this job. But again, more on that later. I'm going to dive in a lot more on the specific strategy that actually allowed him to land this job and how he stood out against hundreds of other applicants. So that surface level is how Rory did it. This is Yusuf, another one of my students. So how did he do it? So he did this through something called job posts and sales managers, right? So sales managers, as in any industry, right, they run the sales team. So what do they need? They need sales reps. And a lot of these sales managers, they have a very big online presence, right? So Yusuf was following one of the biggest sales managers in the space. His name's Johnny Mao, right? And Johnny Mao, as you can see here, he runs sales teams. So what did he do? He posted a job opportunity on his story talking about how the fact he was hiring closers for his sales management business, right? And again, he can then place closers within lots of other businesses. So Yusuf saw this. This isn't the exact post. This was just another post just to give you an example. But he saw the job opening on one of the offices he was working on. So he applied, right? He applied directly through this job post, jumped on an interview, absolutely smashed the interview out of the park, and got hired for a company that's making 700k a month cash collected, right? So if you're one closer on an offer that's making 700k a month and you're the only salesperson, then you're going to make 70k in commission because it's 10%. Annoyingly for Yusuf, he's not the only sales rep. There are other sales reps, but again, it shows how good this offer is. In his first 2 days, Yusuf closed 17k worth of deals and took home 1.7k in commission, so 10%. And that is the exact method he used. And again, I'm going to break down the more nitty-gritties of how this actually worked later on in the video. Now, next up is George. Now, George, as I said, 6.2k in a month. So how did George do it? George did it through a recruiter, right? So recruiters, what is a recruiter? Pretty obvious. Someone who connects offer owners with sales talent. As in normal recruitment in the corporate world, they connect people with businesses that need that specific role. And that's exactly what recruiters do in the online sales world. So every day, recruiters post jobs. So you can apply for recruiter pipelines. Inside my community, I have my own recruiter who brings opportunities directly to my guys. So there's lots of different opportunities. These are some that was posted yesterday. So you've got prop firm offers, you've got trading offers that need closers, and this is all how much you could make. So 50k per month, 8k per month, 20k per month, social media growth, college admissions offer, 15k per month, ecom marketing offer, 5k per month. So that's like the opportunities, and you can apply directly through the WhatsApp group that I have. And that's exactly what George did. So he used the recruiter, he leveraged the recruiter that we had, who posts the jobs every day, and George applied to a role within a company to become an appointment setter. Now, a lot of other people applied to it, but he absolutely nailed his application, nailed the interview, and got offered the job. And literally, within his first month, he made 6.2k in commission. Now, if you don't believe any of these and you think, oh yeah, it's all well and good you saying this, Ben, I have testimonials with all three of these guys on my YouTube. So if you want a more long form, in-depth on how these guys did it and who they are, what they're about, what made them want to get into this space, you can go ahead and watch them. They're on my YouTube channel. Just click after this video and give them a watch. Now, finally, is myself. So how did I do it, right? I've been in the game a lot longer than these three. So I want to break down to you how I actually managed to make my money and how I landed the jobs that made me 170k in commission. So firstly, it was through Instagram and networking. So what I used to do back in the day when I first got into this is I would cold outreach. I would message people on Instagram, basically selling myself, telling them exactly why they should hire me, and what I'm about. And again, it was a lot of effort. It took a lot of time, but after a while, it worked. And I did. I messaged this guy on Instagram, and I was basically saying to him, I want to work for your business. And guess what? He hired me. We had an interview. He loved me. He loved what I did. He believed I could help his business, so he hired me. Right after a while, I made 5k per month working with him. Here's a photo of me and him together, actually in Montenegro, when we did a work trip together. And yeah, I leveraged that. I leveraged this job to get to a point where I was making £5,000 a month consistently from that. Then after that, I wanted to make more. I wanted to get onto another opportunity where I could make more money. So how did I then land a better opportunity from there? What I did is I saw a job post similar to Yusuf on an Amazon FBA coach who was hiring sales reps. Now, I actually knew this coach because, long story short, I did his Amazon course way back in the day, before I got into closing. So I sort of already knew who this guy was, so it was kind of networking. Anyway, long story short, I went on the interview, I smashed the interview, and I got hired. And this is me and that exact guy in Ibiza, in Pasha, after we were doing a work trip, after I generated them nearly $1 million for their business. And here's some payouts that I had from them, 10,000 or just under £10,000 in a single day payout. And again, if you want to learn more about my story in depth, I have it on my YouTube channel. It was my first video. Just scroll all the way to the bottom if you want to watch. But again, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk specifically about how to land these roles. Now, again, people online, these gurus, they'll tell you these stories about these guys and how they landed the job, but they won't give you the specifics on how they landed, the specific advice that you actually need to get onto one of these jobs. And that's what I want to talk about now, is the real source. It's all well and good me telling you this, telling you the money, but how did they actually get onto these jobs? So first things first, when you apply to a job, as with any, there's job applications, right? And that's what all of these guys had to go through, right? As I said, it's all well and good me saying I did this and I did that, but how do you step by step get these business owners to see that you are the guy for them, that they should hire you? As I said, so you start with job applications. This is where you have to sell yourself. You're always selling yourself. The whole process of application interview is selling yourself. You want to be a sales rep on this person's team, sell yourself. That's all you need to do. And business owners recognize that. And if you can sell yourself, then you will be able to sell their service. So when you apply to jobs with business owners, you'll typically be asked to send a Loom video, right? And what is a Loom video? It's basically a video of you recording yourself for 1 to 3 minutes saying why the hell you should work for their company and why they should pick you over loads of other applicants, right? And this is how you nail those videos. These videos are so important, right? Business owners will watch your Loom video. If after a few seconds they think this guy's not for me, they'll click off it. They won't even read the rest of your application. This is essentially your CV, right? It's so important that you do this well. So I've sent my fair share of these, and I've reviewed hundreds of these of students and other people that I've managed as well. So trust me, I know what I'm doing when I say this. 1 to 3 minutes to sell yourself. Here's exactly what you say. Right, so step 1, introduce yourself. Be confident. People will judge you in that first 5 seconds. Again, focus on your sales experience as your first thing. People don't care about anything else. The main thing they want to focus on is your sales experience, because if you don't have that, then unfortunately, then probably not going to hire you, right? But let's kind of backtrack a bit. The whole point of this is we want to reverse engineer. Invert, always invert. Charlie Munger, that's one of his most famous quotes, one of the best well-known investors on this planet. Now, what does he mean by that? If I was a business owner, what would basically turn me off right away? Right? What would give me a lack of confidence? Right? What would make me go, I don't want to hire this person? and it is a lack of confidence, poor demeanour and terrible lighting. Straight away, you are setting yourself up to lose if you have those things. So how can you do it so that you give the impression that you are this confident person, that you have great demeanour, and again, that you do have good lighting, all of these different things. So as I said, first things first, sales experience. Focus on that to begin with. What have you actually done? How much have you closed? Why? What sales experience do you have? That's the most important. Step 2, why you? Right, this is where you need to sell yourself, and this arguably is even more important. Sell yourself to the business. Why the fuck should they hire you over other people? What makes you stand out? And that links to this here, giving proof, right? Always use real life examples to stand out. So I give you an example of George earlier. How we use George's real life examples of who he is, and leverage that to allow him to then land an interview is this way. Is through this exactly. So George is a boxer, right? So we always use this as a way for him to stand out against other applicants. Again, he works extremely hard. You know, I've been through boxing camps, fought in fights, lost fights before. It says a lot about who he is as a character and what he will then bring into their sales team. Again, what makes a good salesman or employee? Dedication, hunger, drive, desire to improve. So what real life examples and evidence do you have to show these things? And that's exactly what I said to George. I said, mate, you're a boxer, you've worked extremely hard, you know what discipline is, you know what hard work is, and that's exactly what business owners are looking for in sales reps. So say you are that, and then give proof as to why you are that. You can say all you want, oh, I'm dedicated, I'm hungry, I'm driven. Where's your proof? Give proof. Always give proof. You know, and that's exactly what we did with George. We told him, right, you need to give evidence, and the boxing was his evidence that he is the guy who he says he is. And again, that's going to then lead to the business owners then wanting to get on an interview with him and then getting him one step closer to being hired. Finally, why are you the guy to sell for this company? Try and think of answers no one else would say. Think how you can resonate with the buyer. For example, step 3, like, why this business? So first step, sales experience. Second step, why you? Why should they pick you out of everyone else? What characteristics do you have that makes you out like you're going to do well in this offer? And step 3, why this business specifically? Why would you be a good fit for this business? Do your research and stand out against other people. So one way you can do this, let's say you're selling fitness coaching. Let's say you're someone who's gone through a weight loss journey. I've gone through a heavy weight loss journey. I was once at 120 kg and I'm now 20 kilos lighter. I understand the pain points of your specific customer. Therefore, I'll be able to resonate and I'll be able to sell to them. That's a key point. You know, even if you haven't done it, or even if maybe you're selling something like a marketing agency. My dad or my uncle ran a marketing agency. I saw the struggle that he faced every day through not being able to bring in leads. Or if a business is struggling with marketing and they want to bring in a marketing agency, my uncle, my brother, they ran a business, and I saw the detrimental effect not having marketing in place had on the business. Therefore, I will be able to resonate with your business. You've always got to think, or resonate with the customer that I'm going to be speaking to on sales calls. You've always got to think, how can I sway it? So one, I show I'm the man and I have the work ethic and the characteristics of a great salesman, but also that I can sell specifically to your business. Your business specifically, I'm your man. That's basically all you're doing, is you are showing I am the man for the job, right? And that is exactly how you do it. But again, always give specific proof, right? If you say you can resonate with the buyer, why can you resonate with the buyer? Let's say you're selling fitness. Did you go for a weight loss journey? Did one of your close friends go for a weight loss journey and you watch them go through it? Like, how can you resonate specifically? The more you can do that, the better. Right, next is interviews. Now you go through this, you stand out, you show you're the man, you invert everything to show I am the person to work for you, then guess what, you're going to get an interview. Now this is how you smash an interview. First things first, I always like to think about this. How would I want someone to be on an interview if I was the business owner and I was hiring them? What would I want them to be like if I was going to hire this person to come into my business? At the end of the day, it's their business, it's their baby. So you've got to think, right, how can I come across the best I can? If I was hiring me, would I hire me? That's the question you want to ask. And the first thing is confidence and conviction. If I'm hiring someone for my business, right, I want them to be confident, I want them to be convicted. Realize that most people are fucking retarded. Trust me, they're stupid. Have the self-belief that you're the man for the job, right? Confidence comes from preparation as well. If you are prepared, then you will succeed. And how do you prepare? Well, the thing to prepare, firstly, you need to research the company. This is a simple thing you can do to set yourself apart from so many other applicants. What are the values of the business? What are the business owners looking for? And, you know, what's their culture? And how can you fit yourself into that culture? Again, you're not lying, but how can you reverse engineer, again, to fit what they're looking for? You've done your research. You see that the business, their culture is this. They like their health, their fitness, working extremely hard, go work, like whatever it is, right? And you then need to think, okay, what are characteristics that I have that I can fit to show that I'm evidence that I am the type of person who works for this business, that I fit into their culture. And again, you always need to think of examples. So reverse engineer always, right? If I was the business owner, what would I look for? If I own this business which values this culture, what would I look for in a sales rep? And how can I mold myself to be that ideal person? You're not lying, you're not making anything up, you're just using what you have to mold yourself to be the perfect person to be hired for this business. Right, that's another thing. Secondly is emotional intelligence. Showcase that you have emotional intelligence. Be confident, but realize you have weaknesses. A lot of guys will go on interviews, business owners will ask them, what's your biggest weakness? And they will tell you that they work too hard. Gimp. No one is going to hire you if you say that. Showcase that you can hold a conversation. Showcase that you can recognize weaknesses, but always show a desire on how you're trying to improve those weaknesses. Developing on points. Just common sense. People want to hire people with common sense. Trust me, don't be that idiot who goes on thinking he's the bee's knees, thinking he's the shit, and doesn't recognize any weaknesses, is extremely arrogant, extremely cocky, overconfident, because you won't get hired if you do that as well. There's a big, big difference between being confident and convicted and still having emotional intelligence. Trust me, right? And business owners will see right through that. Right, and finally is fucking be yourself. And this one is almost the most important. Business owners or sales managers are going to be working with you day in, day out. If they believe that you are putting on a complete act in an interview, they're not going to hire you. They're going to be speaking with you every day. They want to get along with you. So be human, crack a joke, be normal, talk about a football team you might support. Most of the time, business owners will ask you, and this is from my experience, they will ask you, what do you like to do in your spare time? And the reason they ask, it's not a trick question. They're not trying to see what you do. They just want to know who you are, right? They want to know what you do in your spare time. You know, you may be someone who isn't as naturally talented as other people applying, or maybe doesn't have as much sales experience, but if you have the work ethic and you're easy to get along with and you're ready to commit, then they're much more likely to go with you than someone who is overly confident, overly cocky, maybe has more experience, but he's just the bell end. Trust me, if you're working day in, day out with sales reps, you need to get along with them, right? And business owners know that. So they're willing to pick someone with less experience who's willing to learn than someone who is more experienced but is an absolute cock. And trust me, I know that, because every time I have interviews, I am just myself and I have normal human conversations with people. I don't read off a script, and trust me, it always holds me in good stead. So yeah, this here, these two bits here, look, of course I can show you all this, I can show you the results, and again, these are great results from all the guys here, including myself, but the real source is in the nitty-gritties. It's in the hard work you do, it's in the applications, the time you put towards those, also the interview preparation, the time you put, the research into the companies. So please do not neglect these things. Save this video, watch all these things back, because they are very, very important. As someone who has gone through multiple job applications, multiple interviews, someone who's been on the other side of interviews as a sales manager, hiring reps inside, this is what people look for. Trust me. Right, I hope that was useful. If you want to find out how you can learn more about this and basically speed up your whole journey, I'm going to plug my mentorship. I do have a mentorship. This is what all of these guys have been part of to get results very, very quickly. If you want to find out more about that, you can book in a call with me below. If not, honestly, not an issue. There's loads of free content online. I've got loads of free content. So just go through, watch it all, try and get an understanding. And yeah, hopefully that was useful. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.